Welcome to the Trinity Student Ministry Podcast. My name's Ty Combs.
And I am Andy Ramirezma. We lead student ministry at a Trinity Church in Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is an ongoing conversation for all middle school and high school students about God and culture.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TC_studentmen for daily updates and information.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
I am here with our very own Zoe Dinius. How you doing today, Zoe?
Good. How are you?
Good. What'd you do today so far?
Sleep and eat breakfast and then get ready for the podcast.
Nice. Sounds like a good day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Zoe, I will let you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Zoe Dinius. I'm a junior at Noblesville High School. I run cross country and track. I've gone to Trinity basically my entire life. So, yeah.
Awesome. Zoe is one of our core Trinity OGs.
Yep.
Representing Noblesville.
Go
I
Millers.
always feel like because Trinity's in Fishers, I always say Fishers, and then when I look out and I see Zoe, I'm like, in Noblesville.
Yeah.
I feel like I always have to,
Just like me and my sister is about it.
Yeah. There's actually like 3 or 4 people in your neighborhood now.
Yeah. There's
So,
a couple.
What up, all of our Noblesville peeps?
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yep. Millers are the
Conos,
best.
McGraws, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, Zoe, I have a few random questions for you.
Okay.
You've never heard any of these before because I'm kind of making them up as we go.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some either or. You pick one or the other, and if I disagree, I will make you convince me otherwise. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. First one up, Pop-Tarts or cereal?
Cereal.
I think I agree. Okay, now within cereal, fruity cereal or like healthy cereal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I like Frosted Flakes, but that's not fruity.
Yeah, I would.
So would that be healthy or
Frosted Flakes really crosses the bridge between sugary cereal and healthy cereal.
Yeah, Frosted Flakes are really good.
Those are good. Okay, I always got to ask this because my wife and I disagree very strongly on this one. Do you like Captain Crunch?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like the original.
No, that's what I was going to ask.
The fruity, it adds a little bit of flavor, but the original is really good. Just by itself.
No, see, I feel like why do they even make Captain Crunch without the berries? You know what I mean?
I think the berries are okay, but sometimes you'll get all the berries in one bite and then it's just a fruit explosion and it's not good.
You can actually buy a box of the Oops All Berries.
I think I've
That's my
had those
dream
and
come
I did
true.
not like them.
The one bad thing about Captain Crunch is it destroys the roof of your mouth.
Oh yeah.
For some reason. You got to commit to it, but
yeah,
it's worth it most of the time. Okay, next one. Book or movie?
Probably movie. I really like books though, but
Okay.
movies are I don't know, it's just seeing something is so much better.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now how about this? Movie or TV show?
I really like Marvel movies, one-time movies, but then they're also all strung together. But then I also like TV shows because you get to watch it's longer than a movie basically.
Okay, so if you have 2 hours of free time, are you going to pull up Netflix and watch a movie, or are you going to watch 4 episodes of a show?
Probably 4 episodes of a show.
Okay. Kelly and I just started watching the Marvel movies again. We made it halfway through last year, and I shouldn't say this, but I was not impressed.
What? They're so good.
And then everybody's telling us that they're so good, so we just started again.
They definitely get better over time, as everything starts to build up to Endgame, the last movie.
Yeah.
They just eventually you're on the edge of your seat, you have to finish them.
We just watched last night Captain America: Winter Soldier.
That's a really good one.
That one was pretty good.
Captain America. Those are my 3 trio. I really like.
My question with Winter Soldier is the dude, the Winter Soldier. Is that his name? Right?
Yeah.
He's got a robotic arm, right?
Yeah.
He falls in the water. How does it not malfunction?
Well, I don't think it's robotic. I think it's
I don't know. Yeah.
It's made of this stuff from, I don't know.
I just
It's
thought
they Russians made it, so something.
Oh, they figured it out.
Yeah,
okay.
they did something.
All right. Sorry, I keep distracting us. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Beach or mountains?
Oh, that's such a hard one because I love hiking.
You just got back from a trip to the, I wouldn't say mountains, But
the
like,
lake.
there's hills there, right?
Yeah.
I've been to the Lake of the Ozarks. There's hills there.
Yeah, it's hilly. We had to run, and it was awful. We were running like a mountain.
Wait, did you say running was awful?
Running was awful on the hills.
Didn't you just say that you run cross country and
yeah,
track?
but
So
on the hills it was awful because the hill it was like this.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I don't know. I don't feel that bad because you run for fun, which sounds.
Yeah, but it's
that's an
more fun. It's more
oxymoron.
fun when it's flat.
I respect that. You like Indiana running.
Yeah.
Okay, beach or mountains though.
I don't know. That's so hard. Probably the mountains.
All right. Burger or salad?
It depends on the salad, but probably salad. I'm not a big fan of burgers.
Okay. I actually like salads too. Dog or cat?
Dog. I'm allergic to cats, so.
Nice. I wish I were. That's how much I dislike cats. I wish I had an excuse.
You can't really they don't do anything really.
I've heard.
Dogs are so much
I don't know
more
if I'm
fun.
allowed to say this on the pod, but I've heard that cats eat you when you die. Like if you die in your house, I heard your cat will
I think I
eat
might have
you.
heard that too. I can't remember though.
I should probably
I wouldn't be surprised.
I should probably edit that clip out. It's a little sad. But and
they're sketchy.
I
They're
know
always
that
watching you.
people that like cats, we still love you. We just don't love your
Yeah.
cats.
I have two of my friends have cats and they're super sweet cats, but
But they're not
They're like
dogs.
my friends from far away, but I'd rather hang out with my dog.
Yeah, a cat is like a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Okay. I think I know the answer to this one. Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
I've had Popeyes like once and I did not. I don't like fried chicken, so.
Oh, well then that question is just irrelevant.
Yeah.
All right, I definitely know the answer to this one. Actually, let me see. Are you? Yep, I knew it. Chacos or Birkenstocks?
I have both, but probably Chacos because they're like actually like on your foot. But Birkenstocks are comfortable too.
Birkenstocks are on my foot right now.
Yeah,
Like,
meant,
what
they
do you
attach on the
mean?
back. Like they're better for like if you're like at a camp and you like are walking like further distances.
Yeah.
Or like and then these can get wet, but Birkenstocks like shouldn't get wet, even
Yeah.
though they get wet all the time.
Yeah.
But
All right, and now you know Zoe Dinius. All right.
Yep.
You ready to jump in a little bit?
yes.
All right. Zoe, can you describe for us in just a few sentences, describe your faith journey? You are currently 16.
Mm-hmm.
Describe your faith journey over the past 16 years. I
Mhm.
know the first few years probably wasn't much happening there, but
Yeah. So, well, I grew up in the church. Most people
Mhm.
say that, and I really did. My parents took me to church every Sunday. I always believed in Jesus. I gave my life to him in kindergarten. I remember when I did it.
Mhm.
I've gone to Spring Hill 6 times. I've gone on 2 mission trips. Youth group. I've always gone to youth group, so I've really always been involved in the church.
Mhm.
But God wasn't always my first priority.
Mhm.
Until I joined youth group, then I started focusing on him more because I got the opportunity to go on mission trips.
Mhm.
Sophomore year was really when I started focusing on God. After the downtown Indy mission trip,
Mhm.
that really changed my heart a lot. I appreciate more what God has done for my life. I pay more attention like during sermons.
Mhm.
I don't gaze off during worship. I started to group with my friends. I read devos more. I pray before I go to bed. I just like find myself thanking God for like the little moments in life
Mhm.
that I wouldn't have noticed a couple years ago. Like whenever
Mhm.
I see the sunset, I'm just like, wow, God is so good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Right. You just would have been like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's a pretty sunset. Like the other day,
Yeah.
me and my friends saw sunset, and I was just like, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
Like what
yeah.
God can do.
That's awesome.
So
So you would say that you've probably had like a slow and steady incline
Mhm.
towards a relationship with Jesus, but
Yeah.
you've definitely had some like peak moments where it's like
yeah.
jumped up, and those would be your times at camp
Mhm.
and on mission trips. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what I'm hearing?
And then a lot of times on vacations too, when I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah,
on
yeah.
pretty places like at the beach or when we were at the lake, it was just like, wow, like God made this. This is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. Mhm.
Yeah, you've had the opportunity to travel.
Lots of places.
Yeah, lots of places, and so you've probably seen God's beauty in
Mhm.
creation and also in people.
And man-made things.
Yeah.
Definitely too. We went to Italy last fall, and it was so pretty. Like everywhere
Yeah.
I turned, and then I don't know, it was just really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so you grew up in the church, and people listening to this podcast, maybe we'll say it's 50-50. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe half the people have grown up in the church and have a life similar to yours. But then maybe there are some people who have not grown up in the church and they were not raised in a Christian home, and they feel like they have had an uphill battle almost to get to know Jesus and follow God's rules. It just feels counterintuitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think a really good question that would help all of us kind of understand that it's not always pretty sunsets and everything. So has there ever been a time in your life when you've had no other option but to trust God, when things like have not gone according to your plan? If you don't know Zoe, she is a planner. Like when we go on mission trips.
Yes, I just turned my notebook page to look at my notes.
When we go on mission trips, Zoe always texts me like 3 months ahead of time. Hey, do we have the packing list yet? I'm starting packing. Meanwhile, I pack like a few hours before
that stresses me out.
The plane leaves.
That gives me anxiety.
Right. So you are such a planner. Has there ever been a time in your life when life did not go according to plan in a big way, and you've had to just trust God, no other option?
Yes. So the summer before freshman year, and probably most of freshman year, so probably most of people know that at my school, middle school, there was a shooting. So that was very surprising. That nobody expected that.
Right.
Especially in Hamilton County, that was huge. Also, my dog died in July of that summer, and that was really hard because she was only 6. Her name was Kaya. She was a really, really good dog. She was like my best friend. She just like suddenly got cancer and was like gone within like a month. So that was really hard. I had I went through a breakup. It wasn't a very long relationship, but it was my first boyfriend. So that was really tough because I felt like worthless almost. I like just didn't, I don't know. It was, had no idea really why he broke up with me also. So that was hard. I didn't make high school dance team. I had been on the dance team for 2 years in middle school. So people had made it that weren't on the dance team previously. So that was really annoying. And then I was like, well, I'll just join cross country. And I actually hated running. I wanted to quit the team. I did not like running at all. So I was super mad. My parents were like, you're not quitting. So I was like running and I hated it.
Do you still hate running?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay. Sorry.
But yes,
I'm
sorry. Better now.
I'm just always amazed at people who enjoy running for fun. So
yeah.
That's why I always have so many questions.
Yeah, actually, quarantine made me love running now.
All right, we'll get there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to spoil the tipping point of this episode.
Yeah. Well, I hated when I first started high school. I had no friends in any of my classes, and I just was stressed all the time, especially since I felt our class didn't get much of an intro into high school because of the shooting.
Oh yeah.
We felt like we were almost forgotten, kind of. People
because your school was like shut down.
Yeah, so it happened like a week before school ended.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So we kind of felt like the 6th graders that weren't there were like getting like, we're all in this together, like type thing, and we kind of, the high school didn't really do that as much because it wasn't at the high school, so we just felt kind of left out, and that really hurt our entire class, I feel like, for a couple months.
Yeah.
So
that seems like it all kind of happened at once.
My mom can vouch for it.
Yeah.
It all went downhill. Like things just kept like a snowball, just like kept piling up and piling up. And it was really hard. I didn't want to hang out with friends. I didn't like leaving the house. I wasn't eating very much. I just like couldn't sleep. It was not going well.
So obviously the school shooting is a pretty significant thing, and the other things are kind of just part of life. Yeah. But you're right, when they all happen at once, you just feel like,
and I've had a really privileged life. So to have that all happen like at once was probably, I've never had bad stuff like that all happen and then let alone happen all together at the same time. So that was really hard.
So I'm sure people listening to this, probably it's not the exact same list, but you probably have had a season where it's just like, man, things are just not going my way. And whether you relate to those specific things or not, there's surely been a time in your life where you could look back and just be like, man, that was just a terrible season. This happened and this happened and then this happened. I was
really, really mad at God, which is not good to say, but I really was.
Yeah,
I was like,
fair,
why is this happening?
Yeah.
All at the same time too.
So on the flip side of that, let's talk about like the redemptive part of that. Did anything good come out of that terrible season?
Yes, good came out of every single thing that happened to me. the shooting really brought our school closer together. There was like a unity that hadn't existed before, and it still exists today.
Yeah.
Like, just like, I don't know, we all felt like closer together. Like, if you didn't know someone, like, you still felt like they were like with you.
Right. You're on the same team.
Yeah. So that was.
You guys were like living High School Musical, right?
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I've never seen it. I just know the one song.
Mm-hmm.
I just imagine
we're all in
at
this together.
Noblesville High School, people were just singing "We're All in This Together."
We did, actually.
Sweet.
That was a joke. We did not do that.
Oh, okay. I actually believed you. That was good.
Oh, okay.
Good delivery. Okay. So there was good. You felt like closer with.
Yeah, I mean, high school, like, all the grades definitely come together, like at football games and stuff. But I really felt like, especially the 8th graders, our class really got close because it was like a week before we were done with middle school.
Yeah.
So that was pretty hard, especially with all our teachers. I just felt closer to all my teachers, and I still talk to my 8th grade teachers all the time.
Yeah,
so.
Awesome. So would you say that you feel, since that experience of just where everything that you ever wanted was like taken away or just went wrong, all your plans were messed up, would you say that you are more comfortable trusting God now through that?
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like picking up what you're reading between the lines of what you're saying a little bit.
Yeah, well, good came out of like every situation in that. So now I'm like in a better place. I don't know how to explain it.
So would you say if that stuff were to happen to you now, it wouldn't be
I would definitely be stronger than I was at the time, because none of this had ever really happened to me. So
yeah, for
it
sure.
was really like, what is going on? But now I definitely am in a place, because I mean, bad stuff has happened since then. So I've definitely grown from that.
Awesome. Okay, so now maybe a more positive question instead of tell us about the terrible parts of your life. Can you name one? I'm just thinking like one moment, like one. It doesn't have to be like a 1 second moment, but just one place in your life where you felt God's presence more than any other.
Yes. So on the downtown Indy mission trip, there was one night where I don't remember exactly. I was like, you asked like who wants to dedicate their life to God or something like that, and I was like, well, you told us to stand up if we wanted to. And I was like, I'm not going to stand up. Like, I don't need to do that. And then my gut was like, you need to stand up. So I stood up, and then a couple of the people stood up too. And then we all just like prayed over it for a long time. And it was really emotional. And I really felt God like in that moment.
Yeah, that moment was really cool because we were downtown on the mission trip. And we had spent like 4 or 5 days before that serving the people downtown, which was awesome. You guys did an amazing job.
That was such a fun trip.
And it was all focused on other people.
Yeah.
And then we took one moment that night. I remember it. It was
Thursday night, I think.
Yeah, it was Thursday night, and we took one moment and we were like, let's see what God is saying to you. And it was so cool to see you and a few others just say, through me serving people besides myself, God is speaking to me the most.
Yeah, I remember something I said, like, I just can't sit back and watch bad things happen to people. Yeah. I just want to like be there and help them.
Yeah. And this was like, what, exactly 1 year after that
Probably
summer?
Like my dog died, I think. Almost like a year after that.
Yeah, it was like 1 year after that summer that you just described where everything was kind of going wrong.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now that we've talked a little bit about your journey and your experiences with having to trust God when you have no other option, when all your plans go wrong, kind of a thing, I'm going to ask you a few questions to help us kind of see the world through your eyes. And so you go to Noblesville, but I mean, all these high schools are
pretty much
the spiritual climate, I would guess would be pretty similar. So I'm going to ask you about your school, but just know it's kind of just all the schools in the area. So how would you describe the spiritual climate at your school?
So most people, I don't know, I don't really know much about the religion at my school. I know that most girls, like my close friends, are all Christians. Most girls on the cross country team are Christians. People like on Instagram, I see people posting Bible verses and stuff, and they have Bible verses in their bios. So most good people that make good decisions probably believe. I'm not exactly sure what the climate is.
So I think what you said the very first thing you said when you were like, I don't actually know. I wonder if that's more telling than anything.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's hard to tell what the actual spiritual
just
climate is?
Don't really talk about it. I mean, we have crew at our school, but people just don't. It's not talked about at our school unless you're having a personal conversation with someone about it. It's not a big giant thing that lots of people talk about.
And I think that's true at a lot of schools. And to be honest, that is true not just in high school. Like the same is true through adulthood. Like I'm sure your parents would say the same thing about their workplace, maybe even more so. And like I even feel that. I work at a church and I still feel like my coworkers and we talk about like work and tasks and stuff, but we don't talk about like our actual encounters with Jesus.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think just right now, especially, it can be so controversial, like what you believe, and people just, I don't know, people just get nervous that someone will judge them for who they are. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question.
Yeah, it is a hard question. And I think if we knew the answer, we could just fix
Solve
everything.
It.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think we don't want to offend people
that like follow another religion or don't believe in God.
Do you think there's an aspect of it of us wanting to be accepted on the other end? Like we don't want to offend the people around us, but also we want them to like us.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to say anything that could make us weird.
Yeah, I feel like most of the Christians at our school, especially some of the girls I know, really try to spread positivity, and that's really accepted through most of the people in our school.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like everyone's just accepted, but like some people just think like, oh, you're a Christian. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's acceptable to like be a good person and to do good things and maybe even to like reference God and stuff. But
yeah,
it's a little it crosses a line when you're like, I love Jesus. Would you say? In my mind, that's like
yeah, especially since people like want to do drugs and stuff, and they're like, well, if I'm a Christian, I have to be good, and I don't want to do that. So.
Yeah. So now in that, okay, now I'm going to ask kind of like the flip question. This one might be hard to answer. If you had to guess, if I went to Noblesville High School and I gathered, I don't know, 50 people at random, and I said, describe Zoe Dinius to me, do you think that how do you think they would describe you?
Well, I hope it
just
would be
random
like
people.
Nice. For the most part, positive. I don't know, like hardworking, dedicated. I mean, I'm pretty open about like my religion. I post about it on Instagram.
Yeah, they'd probably be like, "Oh, yeah, she's a Christian."
Yeah, if people would ask me about it, I would talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. But I feel like if I polled people at Trinity, they would probably be like, I would be like, do you think Zoe loves Jesus? They'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. But at school, there's like that line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're like,
like if you don't follow me,
they'd be like,
if you don't know me personally, you're not gonna know if I do or not.
Sorry, that's a really tough question to answer. It's a tough one to put words to, and it's also like really hard to be honest with yourself about it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But I think our listeners are probably all in the same boat of like, I would hope they would say good stuff, and maybe they would say, oh yeah, they're a Christian. But all right, so now kind of you can see the line here. I'm not going to segue this perfectly, but basically, to go take it the next step, how would you? We use this term a lot, and I just want you to help us understand it the way that you do. So how would you, Zoe, describe the term share your faith? Because that's like a church thing. Like Ty and Andy are always telling us to share our faith, share your faith. Like, what does that actually mean?
Well, maybe like share any Bible verses or be there for someone if they need help or just be kind to people. If something bad happened, I guess like just sharing your testimony to others and like if someone's struggling, it's like, well, I can pray for you or just I guess just being someone that people can lean on.
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said to like share your testimony, and that doesn't have to be like a thought out like 5-minute speech, but just share a testimony. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like what you said earlier, like somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, I'm having a terrible summer. Like I didn't make this team and my cat died and all this stuff goes on and on. You know what I mean? You could be like, I actually went through a time like that too. And the only thing that got me through was trusting in God.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So now let's talk about the future. What can you, Zoe, do now to make sure that your faith stays strong as you enter college? So we talked about your faith journey and how it's been a pretty steady incline with, some big jumps here and there. But statistically speaking, that is not uncommon for people raised in the church. But then once they go to college, it's like this rocky little, the graph gets crazy. You know what I mean? Where people either go all in or they fade away or they just check out for like 10 years and then they come back once they have kids. So statistically speaking, you're a few years away from entering this big questionable phase in your faith. So what can you do now to make sure that your faith stays strong as you enter college?
Probably just continue to do my devotions, and me and my friends, we started a D group, so just continue like keeping accountable with my friends. Continue to go to youth and church until I go to college and come back if I ever could.
So time out for those of you who don't know. Zoe, can you describe what a D group is?
Well, we me and my friends from school, we found like a devotional to follow along with, and so we'll like meet every week and like go over what we wrote about and read about in the Bible. Nice.
So you just like read something daily and then you write something down about it, like what you noticed, and then you just talk about it?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you said just keep doing devotions, and like I think D group is huge because that takes it outside of just you.
Yeah.
Because when you do your devotions, when you get to be a freshman in college, you're going to be really, really good at convincing yourself that you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I don't need to talk to people about it.
But if you have a group of people around you, it's a lot harder for you to talk them into giving up on you. You know what I mean? You can talk yourself into giving up, but yeah, I think that's really, really important. I'm really glad that you brought that up, to have like that group of people around you. Anything else you wanted to add on that?
I wrote my main group of friends is Christians, so just stay with people that also are, but then I also wrote to expand. Like I don't want to just be friends with Christians, but like just keep a good core group that like will keep me accountable. Yeah.
There's a saying that says something about like you are the like 10 closest people to you or something. Yeah. I'm probably messing that up and I should probably give credit to somebody, but I don't remember. So
I don't know.
We'll move on.
I've never heard it before. So.
Okay, cool. All right. So now I have 2 final questions. I love these questions. They might be a little hard to answer, but that's all right. What advice would you give to junior high Zoe? So go back in time a few years. What advice would you give to yourself, like, 4 years ago? Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
What advice would you give to yourself?
Don't try to have the most friends or, like, Instagram followers, or don't try to, like, be known. But don't try to just, like, have as many friends as possible, but like, because I've definitely grown in that. I realized that I have a really good group of friends and I should just focus on building those relationships instead of trying to have as many friends as possible.
Yeah, that's really good. That's so good. It's way more impactful to have a few really close friends than to have a ton of really shallow friends.
Yeah, who are like never there for you. So
yeah, no, that's really, really good. Anything else?
Don't compare yourself to others.
Oh,
that was
a good one.
Big thing for me in middle school, especially freshman year. Now I've grown away from that. But
how have you grown away from that? Because that is,
I don't know.
That's so hard for junior hires and high schoolers and college students and adults and parents. That's a struggle, I think, through your whole life. How do you move away from that?
Well, like, especially for running, I would always be like, oh, I'm so slow. But instead of focusing on, like, what others are doing, I'm trying to focus more on, like, growing it myself and, like, becoming a better runner in that. Or, like, I don't know, when I see people's, like, post on Instagram, I don't try to be like, oh, like she's prettier than me, but I'm gonna be mad about it. Like I'll be like, oh, she's so pretty, and like just like be like, that's just God made us all differently, and I can't be exactly the same as everyone else.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so before we forget, we said that you would talk about how you like running now, how you hated it that year.
Yeah. So
did God just change your heart, or did you?
So I got injured freshman track season. I got shin splints, and I had them for like over a year, and so that really made me like miss running. Like I actually realized how much I like running and being a part of the team.
Okay.
And then I got back to running during track, and I was like, I hate running again because I don't like track. Track is, I just would rather run cross country, like distance.
We won't send this to your track coach then.
He's the same person.
Oh no.
Track and cross country.
Oh, so he knows.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, distance runners really do just enjoy cross country more. That's just kind of.
So do you run like the longest possible distance in track?
No, because I don't like running on the track, so I try to find shorter distances.
Just get it over with.
Just get over. I don't, because I don't like running laps around the track, so I just run I run an 800 is my like, hopefully my main thing is like just two laps around the track, and then I'm just done.
Then you're just done for the meet. Nice.
Yeah, and then. So
I respect that.
So over quarantine, I was like, I am not running. I'm gonna take a break from running. Running is the worst. Like I'm not doing that. And then my dad's like, no, like you should run. And I was mad about it, but I ran anyway. And then I realized how much I could get ahead in cross country season because I was still coming back from my shin splints since we don't run that much during track, indoor track. So
which sounds ironic to me, but
well, one day my dad took me on like a 4-mile run, and then he was like, or was it 6 miles? I don't remember. He was like, we should do a half marathon together.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll think about it. And then I realized how much I actually like running, like not fast but long distances. Like I really just enjoy going on like 8-mile runs and like just like being outside.
Pardon me as I puke.
I really like over quarantine, especially like training for the half marathon, learned how much I like distance running. And so now I'm trying to actually like get in really good shape for cross country, and I'm focusing more on like what I'm eating and getting stronger. Like, so yeah.
So does your dad like running?
Yes, my dad has run 5 or 6 marathons, and then he's done a couple half marathons. This
insanity is in your genes. So I'm gonna blame your dad.
He actually didn't run like over 2 miles until college, but then he started training for half marathons with his friends. So, then he went off for a while. I blame your dad
for making you like running. Sorry, Kent.
Yeah,
but
he's a pretty good runner.
I only run when I'm forced, I guess. I don't know. I only want to be able to outrun somebody chasing me.
Well, I'm already a step ahead of the game, so
there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, last question. What type of person do you hope to be in 5 years or more? I realize now I typed this wrong when I sent you this question. What type of person do you hope to be in 5 years or when you graduate college?
Yeah.
I realize those aren't actually the
I just want to be someone that radiates God's love. Like people see me and they're like, oh, she's a Christian, and then they can like, I don't know, just like be helpful to people. I said be someone people can lean on. So like if they need something to pray for, they could be like, hey, Zoe, I need you to pray for this. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, I will. And then like also just then like be able to convince people to go to church and like accept Christianity. Yeah.
I love that. And I love what you didn't say, which is I hope to have this many friends, or I hope to I think so many times that high schoolers are focused on like, I hope to go to this college and have this degree. And those are all great things to have planned, as I'm sure you have thought about. But those are great things to think about and to plan towards. But I love that your answers are all just focused on God and the people around you. Yeah. And I think that shows a lot of your trust that, yes, you probably have a school that you want to go to. And yes, you probably have a career that you want to explore and all this stuff, but you can trust that God will guide that path or guide your heart on a different path. But that you really are focused on radiating God's love, which can only come through being close with him and also
trusting him and continuing to read the Bible and praying and
and that the other thing you said was focused on drawing the people around you closer to God by praying for them, for being somebody they can lean on, or for just sharing the gospel with them. So I think that's really telling. Even if those 3 answers seemed really easy for you to come up with, I think that's really telling to show that just how much your trust in God has shaped who you are.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I was just gonna say, my mom pointed out that I said this during that summer where everything went wrong, that like everything was just going bad, but I knew that God would turn it out for the better, and that just was what kept me going. Like, I know that I just have to like kind of trust that God was in control, and I know he was, because now everything's like okay again.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Zoe, for your time, and thank you even more for sharing some of your heart and some of your experiences.
Yeah,
and
thank you for having me.
Yes, we love you here at TSM. Again, I feel like I need to put a little disclaimer. Sorry for all the cat lovers out there.
Yeah,
We don't hate you.
Cats are cute. They can be funny.
We don't hate you. We just don't like your cats.
Yeah. We love you as a person, but not as a cat person.
All right, we should probably stop. I feel like we're making it worse, not better.
Probably.
All right, students, we will see you soon. We love you. Have an excellent week.
Have an excellent summer.
Have an amazing year.
Have an amazing life.
All right, peace.
Bye.